In 1775, a small group of British colonies made a decision that would change the course of world history. They chose to challenge the most powerful empire on Earth. At the time, the British Empire controlled vast territories across the globe, and its authority stretched firmly across North America. Along the eastern coast lay 13 colonies, populated by settlers who still considered themselves loyal British subjects, yet loyalty began to fade as frustration grew. The problem was power. Parliament in Britain imposed taxes on the colonies without allowing them representation in government. Laws like the Stamp Act placed heavy financial burdens on merchants, printers, and ordinary citizens. More taxes followed, and resentment spread rapidly. Colonists began to protest, rallying around a powerful idea: no taxation without representation. Tensions reached a breaking point in Boston. British soldiers patrolled the streets, and confrontations became common. In 1770, violence erupted when soldiers fired into a crowd, killing 5 colonists in what became known as the Boston Massacre. News of the incident spread throughout the colonies, fueling anger and resistance. Political pamphlets and speeches transformed public opinion and united people against British rule. In 1773, Parliament passed a new tax on tea. In response, colonists disguised themselves and boarded British ships in Boston Harbor, dumping crates of tea into the sea. This act of defiance, later called the Boston Tea Party, shocked Britain. The Crown reacted harshly, closing Boston's port and placing the city under military control. Instead of breaking colonial resistance, these punishments united the colonies further. Delegates from across the colonies gathered at the First Continental Congress to coordinate their response. While they still hoped for peace, Britain prepared for war. Colonial militias began training, and tensions finally exploded on April 19, 1775, at Lexington and Concord. Shots were fired, British troops retreated, and the American Revolutionary War had begun. Soon after, the Second Continental Congress met and made a critical decision. George Washington was appointed commander of the Continental Army. The challenge ahead was immense. The American forces were poorly trained and poorly supplied, facing one of the most professional armies in the world. Early battles, including the Battle of Bunker Hill, proved costly, but demonstrated that the colonists could stand up to British troops. In 1776, the colonies took a bold and irreversible step. Thomas Jefferson drafted the Declaration of Independence, proclaiming that all men are created equal and possess natural rights to life, liberty, and self-government. On July 4th, independence was formally declared, transforming rebellion into revolution. Britain responded with overwhelming force. The war grew brutal, and American morale suffered. The winter at Valley Forge nearly destroyed Washington's army, as soldiers faced starvation, disease, and freezing conditions. Yet Washington held the army together, and disciplined training under Baron von Steuben transformed the force into a capable fighting unit. Foreign support soon changed the course of the war. After a decisive American victory at Saratoga, France officially joined the conflict, providing troops, supplies, and naval power. What began as a colonial rebellion became a global war. Fighting spread, particularly in the southern colonies, where both sides endured heavy losses. The final chapter unfolded in 1781 at Yorktown. British General Cornwallis found himself trapped by American and French forces, while the French Navy blocked British reinforcements at sea. With no escape, Cornwallis surrendered. The war was effectively over. In 1783, Britain formally recognized American independence through the Treaty of Paris. A new nation had been born, but its challenges were only beginning. The United States faced economic hardship, political uncertainty, and deep internal contradictions. Leaders drafted a constitution to create a balanced government and protect individual liberties. George Washington became the nation's first president, setting lasting precedents for leadership. The American Revolution inspired movements across the world and reshaped ideas about freedom, democracy, and self-rule. Yet its promises were incomplete. Enslaved people remained in bondage, women lacked political rights, and Native Americans were pushed aside. The struggle for equality would continue long after independence. Still, the revolution proved something powerful. Empires could fall, ordinary people could govern themselves, and ideas could reshape history. Born from resistance, forged through sacrifice, and sustained by hope, the American Revolution marked the birth of the United States and changed the world forever.